Well, one of my old primitive campsites. It's about 7 years old. Some of you may have seen it in a couple of videos. I guess Mother Nature's taking it back. Of course, then again, I quit camping out here in this specific area because it was actually a game trail that I didn't know goes right down that ridge all the way up. So I figured somewhere along the line somebody was probably hunting in here and it was messing it up. So I kind of peeled out of here, quit using it. Of course, it also messes with the wildlife too in this particular spot. So I kind of cut out of it, but to be November, there sure is a lot of leaves still on the trees. It served its purpose for, well, I camped in and out of here for about 2 years before I made the decision, and it's been probably 4 years now since I've actually used it. I've got several more on this area over here, but they're not quite as close as this one. They have to go a little bit further out. This one's only about 1.5 miles off the road, or off the main graveled road out through here. But anyway, I'm going to add this to one of the videos that I'm fixing to do, so we'll be back in just a few minutes. Alright, welcome YouTube. You'll have to excuse the face. I had a little camouflage. Being bald, you need to make sure you're a little more camouflaged, I guess. But anyway, that's not what I'm out here for. Is I've got the finished knife, and it's the one that we've been making out of the saw blade. Everything's glued on it, still going with it, and I'm going to do just a little out of testing it out in the woods, see how well it does. The area that I'm in is an old campsite that I had years ago, so not many people come out here in this particular area, but it was on a main game trail later on that I found out once I started exploring more up the side of the other ridge over there. I realized that it was impeding the traffic of deer in a sense. So, well, enough with that. I'm going to go over here and do a little bit of cutting, whacking, splitting, shaving, see how well it does, give you a little test on it, and see if it does good. I've not yet tested it out. It's just got finished, and I was out hunting today. I thought I'd take it since I had my camera, and since I was in the woods, we'd do a little bit of it. So we'll be right back. Alright, let's see how well it chops on old dead wood. It is dead wood. I'm not telling you it's not. It's a lot of good stuff. We'll see where we're at with dead. Actually, it's not that dead, but it's dead. Alright, she can chop, which is an obvious. There was a reason I got this one here, because I'm going to do a little splitting in a minute. So let's go over here and see what we can get. Alright, this piece that you can see right here, I've actually been cutting off of that for about 7 or 8 years, however long it is. It's closer to 6, I think, a little over 6, about 6.5. That's what I've been starting my fires with when I was out here. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm not going to start a fire today because there are people. There's no one within probably 10-mile radius from me, but I don't want to go messing up the thing as much as I already have. So basically the same thing that I've always done. I'm going to go to the other side. She splits. You probably go a little further if this stick will hold out. I don't think the stick will, but since I was doing that, gonna take this piece with me. Now, I'm not a big fan of beating the pea out of a knife. As you can see, that's pretty much all the damage that it's doing, if it's doing any to it. But I'm going to save this piece here and put it up and mark right here where it was at and where it was gotten from, because this will be the last time that I'll actually come out here to this spot. So we'll go on to something else. We'll do some shaving real quick, so I'll get over and get set up for that. But I mean, it is what it is. It's a utility knife. It's a cutting knife. It's an outdoors knife. It is a tool. If you need to do what I just did, yes, it will do it. Do I do it? Yes, I do. I do it quite often. I don't. This is about as big of a chunk that I'm going to try to split out of anything. If I need to do anything other than that, I'm going to get a bigger piece of metal to make that, or I'm going to use wooden wedges and split it that way. But this was enough to get what I needed, so thank you, tree, and I'll be back. Well, here's an old arrow shaft that I made out here one night. See where I started a knock on it. Never did finish it. I don't remember what the reason for it was. I straightened it, and it's not so straight anymore, but it was fairly straight. Wouldn't flew like a straight arrow for sure. But anyway, let's get down here. I mean, these type of knives are not delicate. They're not made for, I don't know, splitting hairs. I mean, it's a bulky knife. It's a big knife. It's got many purposes that you could do with it. It's made for bigger chores, bigger tasks. It's not made for playing around with, I don't know. It's just what it is. I mean, will that knife last a lifetime? I would say probably. Taking care of it, I don't see any reason. I don't see any stress fractures, nothing in the metal that would deter it from doing its job. I mean, I put smaller edge down here. I rolled it up and gave it a thinner body here, right in here, down on this part right here, and then I rolled it up a little bit for the chopping, to get more of that edge and the weight off of it. I don't see any tree that is green out here to show you its power, it's whatever. And I mean, I'm not a tree hugger, so to speak, but if I don't have a task that's a mission that's doing something that needs to be done, and this, I mean, you've seen, it's a knife. Better ones out there, much better. If you didn't have anything but just an old piece of metal, and preferably carbon saw blade, you can have your own self one of these knives right here for just a little bit of time and effort. And if you got a whole saw blade, you'll be better than me at it if you stay at it. I mean, that's about all I can say about the knife. I mean, I got it in an older sheath that I had for years. It fitted it. I kind of made sure that when I was putting it together that it was going to fit. Get her tilted down there. Here's the sheath that I made for it. Well, I technically didn't make it for this one. It's one that I had, and I made sure that when I'd made it, I made it for another knife that was a little bit smaller. So when I done my dimensions and my cuts, I said, well, you know what, I got a sheath. I need to make sure that it's going to fit down in it. It does. I mean, we're ready to go bushcraft. We're ready to go out in the woods. Will the knife process meat? It will. Will it skin out a deer? You would really have to do a lot of work. Once you got it punctured and pierced, it should be just fine. I mean, you know, there's plenty of sharp edges on it, but it's a little thick to be trying to skin. If that's all you had, can you do it? Anybody that puts enough effort into it's going to be able to do it and do it good and do it right. It's not its intended purpose, you know, but for that person that wants to go out in the woods and just have one knife that can do everything, this is the style, I guess, that you could go with. I wouldn't. I mean, it's much easier, and I've said this many a times in many of my videos, it's much easier to have one of these in your pocket. This thing right here has skinned out more fur than you could, not its intended purpose, but son, it's good for it. Every time I catch a coat in my traps, I use this. Every time I catch a beaver, I use this. Every time that I catch any other animals that I'm trapping, whether it be fox, whatever, I use this knife right here. She's razor sharp. I mean, I could I could just about take somebody down with this little old Sod Buster Junior. I use the Junior, not the regular Sod Buster, because this Junior, I have smaller hands. I don't know if you can tell that in the video or not. They're about a medium-sized hand, so I prefer that particular size. It gets a good, I carve with it, I do anything and everything with that little particular knife. I keep it good and sharp. I don't baton with it. It's not its intended purpose. It's a folder. Could you? In a life or death scenario, yeah, I guess so, but I don't really know what you would baton to make it work, unless you were just trying to cut a notch out or something. I don't know, you could whittle that out. If you can't whittle, then don't go in the woods. But anyway, so much for that knife. The one that I was specifically shooting the video for, which is this one right here. It's just, its intended purpose is just what it is. I mean, it's a big knife to go out in the woods and do whatever it is that you want to do, and be able to get it done and know that you can come home and it's still going to be in peace, as long as you don't go beating on rocks, because it's not going to bust a rock. It might, but you're not going to cut nothing after that. But there it is. Some of you guys, gals that's been watching, waiting on it, sorry it took so long to get it out. First video that I actually shot for it being completed. This knife's actually been done now for about 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks. I've started something new with YouTube. Got several videos that are lined up, but they're in sequence to where they'll go and upload on certain days. They're scheduled to go out. I did have a problem with the schedule thing on the part 6 and 7, I think it was. Apparently I punched the wrong date in and I skipped a day in between it, or something happened, I don't know. So you kind of skipped on that there, but I appreciate everybody that watches. Not getting rich at this by no means, wasn't my intended purpose. Just to get out there and do something other and be able to look back and see how ugly I get over the years. See if I can physically still keep out and do it. So that's one of the things I like about the YouTube community, is being able to get out, do these things. It gets my little tail up off of the couch. It keeps me a little more active. Well, I mean, that's about it. I mean, I enjoy it, and I know each and every one of you that watch the videos whether you can get out and get to do it, whether you don't have the time, whatever. Maybe it brings a little bit of peace to you. So if you have any questions, comments, please put them on there. Got your good ones, got your bad ones, put them all on there. I mean, I'm a big boy, I can handle it. The biggest thing about the whole the YouTube thing is that I like about it is I get to watch other people and learn from them as well. So if you've ever wondered about getting on YouTube and doing some videos, ain't none of us perfect. So if you ever worry about whether somebody is going to actually laugh at you, laugh with them. Because if they ain't laughing at my videos, I tell you what, somebody needs to pull that foot out of their tail. So y'all have a good one, and I'll catch you on the next one. Goodbye.